Now, there are questions over colleges, and particularly those in cities. First Lady Michelle Obama today delivering a commencement address at what is the largest urban public university in the country today. She'll be in New York at City College, and it's a college that's been hit by some steep budget cuts. There was even a report of overcrowded classes, and believe it or not, students, according to this report, having to bring their own toilet paper in, which, geez. Liz McDonald on this, and, taste of what free college maybe looks like. We're also joined by Garland Nixon and Kat Timpf, and we'll get to them in just a moment. But start us off, Eve Mack.
Well, the tuition there is just virtually nil. It's about less than $6 grand a year, but it is in such disrepair across the board at CUNY. This is City University of New York. That basically there's certain divisions, including the engineering school, they could lose their accreditation. So is this what happens when you have a college system that is virtually free? So here's what's going on, the backstory. Administrative bloat. A lot of administrators in the system. In fact, Governor Cuomo, one of his top aides, sent a letter saying the 50 top paid New York State workers, 15 of them are at CUNY.
As college
at the school. The top 50,
professors?
and the top 50, in that top 50, there are former CUNY workers, including the former chancellor, who still is getting $500,000 a year, even though he doesn't work there anymore. So this is the issue. The rail about Fat Cat CEO pay in Washington, D.C. Fat Cat academics are gouging middle-class families for tuition hikes, and it's going to administrative bloat. Yes, states are cutting back on spending on colleges. We get that.
Right.
But where is the tuition going toward? Is it going toward more faculty? You're going to find a lot of assistants, a lot of administrative staff, and a lot of these colleges across the country.
Let's talk about it a little bit. As I said, Garland and Kat are with us as well, with EMAC. I should be clear, as the video probably indicated to you, I think I said Michelle Obama will deliver. She did deliver that commencement address this morning here in New York. Garland, your thoughts on all of this, because it has become a big debate in the presidential race, as brought to us by Bernie Sanders originally, the idea that we can have free college.
Yeah, and I think the issue here is, where are our priorities? Do we spend, the $100 billion that we're currently spending on nuclear submarines, certainly knowing that ISIS is not going to be going after any nuclear submarines with a diver and a strap-on bomb? Or do we put the money in the direction of educating our workforce for the future? If we look at this issue, at the issue here at CUNY, the issue is a lack of funding. We're backing off of the funding. I think it's just a priority issue.
I think part of it is
what we want to buy.
Is also how that money, and I'll get back to you, Liz, on this in a second, and how, Kat, that money is being spent, right? I mean, that's what people are debating, as opposed to whether or not you're going to spend it. Once you make the decision to spend it on college, I mean, how do you allocate it? How do you spend it? Are you efficient,
Right. There's absolutely no incentive to be efficient with free money. And also, when something becomes free or cheap, the demand for it increases, and we can see that the school already can't meet the current demand. And so prices go up in other ways, like the school, nothing provides it, or prevents it rather, from charging more in fees, or apparently having to bring your own toilet paper. It'd be really nice if it was as simple as, okay, instead of money on submarines, let's put it towards education, and everyone will get an education, will be smart, and suddenly these schools will be repaired. But it's just not that simple.
Okay,
right, and to Kat's point, I mean, there's single-digit cuts in administrative budgets, single digits. They've seen their salaries go up 45% since 2009 at CUNY. Let me clarify what I was saying earlier. The top 50 highest paid state workers in New York State are at CUNY and at SUNY.
That doesn't make sense,
There's a lot of money they're getting in the way of salaries.
What do you think of that, Garland? Just that stat in particular doesn't seem, it doesn't seem to pass a smell test that we're having this same conversation while that's happening,
Right. Well, here's the other part, too. I mean, we have to compare that to what are people making at universities today. Do we have one particular university where we pay people so little that we're not able to put an adequate staff together? The prices of everything, the price of everything is going up, but the reality is they lost almost 20% of their funding. And I think what we're talking about here is an issue of reduced funding. Louisiana, they had, 70–80% of reduction in funding, and that's what you're going to see.
Is it more than that, Liz? Is it more than just reduced funding?
It is. He's right. That is the state spending, there's been cutbacks at colleges. But, you know, it's the colleges themselves. I mean, they work on a tax-exempt nonprofit model, and they gouge middle-class families routinely on that nonprofit model where they're tax-exempt, and they pay themselves exorbitant fat cat academic pay. And they're building out, you know, college campuses like, you know, with white elephant projects, college bling, like expensive football stadiums, you know, fancy restaurant-style cafeterias. We just need to rethink the business model of the university system.
Fair, a little off the subject, but in most states, it would be the college football coach or basketball coach who's the highest paid state employee. We just don't have those types of colleges here in New York, like the University of Michigan's there, these other places.
Right, good point.
Where they, you know, they make a few million bucks and nobody else is making it. Now, let me end it this way, Kat. What should be our goal here as we try look at these public colleges, state colleges? Are we trying to make them free? I mean, what should we be trying to do?
That's impossible, and as the government's gotten more involved and more loans, higher amounts of loans, it's just gotten more expensive, and it keeps going up and up and up, and there's no incentive for the school to provide anything different because the government money is free money, so there's no incentive involved. Nothing's going to change. It's all about incentive, not, you know, it sounds nice to just say more money, just give more money for more stuff, but if there's no control over how you spend it, no incentive for them to spend it on kids, then they won't.
Kat and Garland, thanks, and EMAC, of course, as always. Thanks to all of you.